I literally brought this PC back from the dead and turned it into this. It can now run every heavy graphics-intensive game I love on the same machine that almost wasn't worth saving. This all started when I was casually scrolling through eBay and stumbled across a PC listed for just $20. Sounds like an insane deal, right? Well, this thing turned out to be a complete nightmare. Nothing worked the way it should, and every fix came with a new problem. But instead of giving up, I decided to push it as far as possible. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how I turned a $20 broken PC into a gaming monster. Let's get into it. From the outside, it's pretty clear this is a Lenovo 510S08ISH, a compact SFF-style desktop. And honestly, it's not winning any beauty contests. The DVD drive is missing, leaving a big empty gap on the front panel, and the case itself is covered in scratches, especially around the edges. This thing has definitely seen some years of use. Alright, let's plug it in and see what happens. And yeah, no surprises here. No display, no fan noise, no signs of life at all. So now there's only one thing left to do. Let's open it up and see what's actually going wrong inside. Once I popped the side panel off, I immediately realized things were way worse on the inside than they looked on the outside. First problem, there's no RAM installed at all. But what really caught me off guard is that someone literally cut the power button wires along with the front USB cables. Yeah, that's not something you see every day, and honestly, it makes zero sense. Thankfully, there is still a CPU inside, but there's no cooler installed on it. Alongside that, we've got 2 RAM slots, a Wi-Fi card, and a very modest 180-watt power supply. At this point, I added a stick of RAM and tried to jumpstart the system directly from the motherboard pins, just to rule out the power button issue and see where the real problem was. Unfortunately, nothing, no response. This machine is still completely silent, which means we're dealing with a much deeper issue than just missing parts. At this point, the only thing I can do is test each component one by one. First up, the CPU. I need to know if it's actually alive, so I pulled it out and dropped it into another motherboard. Hold on, the fan is spinning. Come on, come on. Oh my god, we've got a display. Turns out it's a Pentium G4560, a 2-core, 4-thread CPU with a locked clock speed of 3.5 GHz. Nothing fancy, but hey, it works. That's already a win. Now that the CPU is confirmed good, my attention goes back to the motherboard and the power supply. I check the CPU socket closely. Pins are straight, clean, no bends, no broken contacts. I reinstalled the CPU, swapped in a fresh CMOS battery, and tried again. Still nothing. At this point, I'm almost certain the power supply is the real problem. So I decided to replace it, but of course there's a catch. This motherboard uses a proprietary 10-pin power connector. And yeah, I don't have a PSU that supports that. So I had no choice. I ordered a 24-pin to 10-pin power adapter for $10, which is honestly half the value of this entire PC. It's definitely a risky investment, but at this point, I'm all in. Please, just give me something. Wait, hold on. Do you see that? The CPU fan is spinning. Yes! And even better, it boots straight into the BIOS. So yeah, that pretty much confirms it. The original power supply was dead. I'll set that aside for now. Next step, I'm going to install a drive and see how this system actually performs. And more importantly, whether it's stable enough to be usable. Let's see what this machine can really do. First up was Minecraft, and wow, it was rough. FPS dropped straight into the single digits. After the world finished loading, it climbed to around 20 FPS, but constant stutters made it almost impossible to enjoy. When I lowered the render distance to 8 chunks, things changed a lot. FPS jumped up to about 70 to 80, which honestly surprised me. If you're a very casual player and don't care much about visuals, that's actually playable. But for me, that's still not enough. I want something that looks decent, especially for more demanding games. So I switched over to Counter-Strike 2. Even on the lowest settings, FPS stayed around 10 to 15, which feels pretty bad. Dropping the resolution to HD helped a little, but at that point the image quality takes such a hit that it's just not enjoyable anymore. After testing a few games, it's pretty clear that the CPU performance is on the weak side, but the good news is the system itself is stable. And that got me thinking, why not turn this boring office PC into a proper gaming machine? There's clearly a lot of untapped potential here. Since this system is running an H110 motherboard, I decided to upgrade to what's arguably the strongest 6th gen CPU you can reasonably pair with it. I spent $40 on an i7 6700. Sure, the K version is faster, but this board doesn't support overclocking anyway, so going with the non-K model just makes more sense budget-wise. This CPU comes with 4 cores and 8 threads, a base clock of 3.4 GHz, and it can boost up to 4.0 GHz. And honestly, that's a huge step up from where we started. Now, when it comes to the GPU, this case is honestly a nightmare. There's just no way to fit a full-size graphics card in here. And at this point, I'm done cutting up cases or forcing myself to use low-profile GPUs. So instead, I came up with a different solution. This right here is a 3D printed motherboard test frame, made from solid, rigid plastic. It cost me about $10, and I ordered it from a friend. Now I can mount everything directly onto the frame. The beauty of this setup is that I can install pretty much any GPU I want, no size restrictions. There's also dedicated space in the back for the power supply and storage, so everything stays clean and organized. For cooling, I'm going with a 4 heat pipe air cooler, paired with a 700-watt power supply. And for the GPU in this build, I'm using the GeForce GTX 1660 Super with 6 GB of VRAM. On top of that, the system is running 16 GB of RAM and dual channel. Looking at everything together, the setup actually feels surprisingly cohesive. And if you're tired of the usual boring PC cases, this is a cool alternative that really changes up the aesthetic. Going back to Counter-Strike 2, now at full HD, I can finally say this system handles the game with confidence, even at high settings. As you can see, FPS stays well above 100 most of the time. Compared to the pre-upgrade setup, this is easily more than 10 times faster, and the difference is night and day. But does that performance carry over to other games? Let's switch to Minecraft. At 8 chunks, FPS shoots all the way up to around 600. Even when I push it to 32 chunks, it still holds about 150 FPS. And since the system clearly has plenty of headroom, I turned on shaders at 8 chunks. The result? A very stable around 80 FPS. At this point, you can comfortably enjoy Minecraft with great visuals and smooth performance. No worries at all. Moving on to Fortnite, running at low settings. FPS stays around 100 most of the time. During close-range fights, it can dip to about 80 FPS, but while moving around normally, it often climbs up to 140 FPS. For a casual player like me, this is honestly a really comfortable experience. Next up is the heavy hitter, Cyberpunk 2077. At medium settings, I wasn't expecting miracles, but seeing over 100 FPS in a game this demanding genuinely surprised me. That said, when driving at high speeds through the city, FPS does drop quite a bit, landing around 70 FPS. Still, overall performance is impressive for this setup, especially considering how tough Cyberpunk is on hardware. Next up is Elden Ring, a AAA masterpiece released in 2022 that received massive praise from both critics and players. At medium settings, FPS sits around 40 to 50. For a slower-paced game like this, that's still very comfortable. Exploring the massive open world feels smooth and enjoyable without hurting the experience. Then we move on to another AAA title, though this one has been around for much longer, Tomb Raider. At ultra settings, the system pushes around 160 frames per second, which is way beyond the standard 60 frames per second target. That said, since I'm using a 60 Hz monitor, you won't really see the full benefit, but the raw performance is definitely there. Next up is The Witcher 3. I am running it at high settings, which feels like the perfect balance between visual quality and performance. At around 100 FPS, the game feels extremely responsive. Combat, spellcasting, and camera movement across the massive open world are noticeably smoother, especially compared to consoles, which are typically locked at 30 to 60 FPS. So yeah, I'd say I successfully dumpster dived eBay and turned a PC that was basically dead into a serious gaming machine. That said, I did end up spending quite a bit on upgrades, probably over $200 in total. And if we're being honest, the only thing I truly reused from the original system was the motherboard. Still, I wouldn't call that a total loss. And with that, I think this is a good place to end the video. What kind of PC or device are you watching this on? Drop it in the comments, I'm really curious.